cover our bases. All
All right.
right. Jumping in on here. Okay, we're here with the NXN champ from 2023, an amazing talented athlete, and honestly came away with one of the gritty performances that I've seen in 2023 so far. It's JoJo Jourdon. How's it going? Thanks for joining.
Doing good, doing good. How about you?
Oh, I'm great. I get to talk to you today, so I'm doing fantastic. I do want to point out to anyone listening at home, y- I was going through just everything that happened after the race, and I saw you had actually sent me footage of Ryan Krauser's previous shot put world record that I believe that was the one that got like rescinded, right?
I'm
Or
not
was
sure.
that
I was there at Simplot to watch it and I recorded it, and I was expecting you to make a video about it. I was like, why not send it to him? It was a fun video.
and you were right, dude. That's so cool. I just appreciate that. That and I was oh wow. That's loud. I was playing it right now just for anyone wondering. You got some natural cinematography skills. This is a good shot. You got a capturing of the moment. So I've had very few athletes themselves that send footage over. So I take it you're a fan of the sport. So I mean, how'd you get into track? How's your relationship with it developed over the years, and ultimately how has it gotten you to this point now?
Yeah, honestly, I started out playing tennis. My dad played tennis in tennis in college, and my mom ran track and field. So started with tennis, and then just slowly moved over to running. Probably I played a lot of tennis early years, and then around sixth grade, started running for fun. Just with my friends, couple guys. Just joined the cross country team. Didn't really take it seriously until freshman year. Ended up letting go of tennis my freshman year to run track instead. So I think that's what got me into it. Just me. Overall, tennis is a pretty individualized sport, so having a group of guys around me, training with me, it was just a great experience, and I feel like the team aspect really helped me push me towards running.
Yeah, that's you don't see too much tennis to cross or tennis to track. I feel like a lot of tennis people are tennis for life. I mean, you said you had to let it go. I take it you really did love it.
Yeah, I played probably for 9 years before. I mean, it was like played yeah, played competitively, extremely competitively. Traveled across states. I had a really good time with it, but it was definitely a tough decision to let it go. But I
Mhm.
think, I mean, just with the friends I had and just the team I had, just helped bring it just bring me up so quickly, and I was just so excited to be part of a team. So it was a tough decision, but I think it was the right one.
I think so too. I think the proof is in the pudding at this point. I tennis is one of the sports I don't get to talk about too much, but I do really love it. And before we, because we're gonna get into the running, don't worry. I'm curious from your perspective, and this is such an impossible question to answer. I'm gonna give you four options. I want you to choose one: Bjorn Borg, Nadal, Djokovic, or Federer.
Nadal, he's my
Ooh,
favorite.
that clay court though. No, he's the French. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
He's Spanish.
Spanish. Well, I mean,
Right.
he plays on the French court,
Oh
the
yeah,
French
yeah, yeah. I know.
Open.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
crazy on the clay.
I respect that decision. Yeah, hey, there's no wrong answer there. That's
Yeah.
cool. Very nice. Okay, so you make the transition to track. You're hitting freshman year. I couldn't find all of the details because I know there's not a full recording of every single race. There's good recordings of it, but I it looks like you were running about 18s your freshman year, which is very respectable for the 5,000. Uh, Talk to me about your progression because I mean you've dropped over 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, I guess it would be, from your freshman year to senior year. Obviously, seeing great success past 2 years. What were some of the key moments that kept you pushing, kept you growing, and ultimately brought you to the top of the mountain at the NXN meet?
Yeah, my freshman year, we had a great group of seniors and juniors that just helped me to learn to love the sport. And then also, just a lot of my friends were freshmen at the time, and we all decided to go into it.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, just had fun with it freshman year, honestly. Didn't take it too seriously. I know my coach put a mileage cap on me, so she was like, "Can't go over this, don't go crazy your freshman year. Just learn to have fun." And
Respect.
then yeah, and then track season came along. Definitely saw it a little bit better. big part for freshman year, a big thing for me was I made it to my state meet. I did get second to last there, but I was there. It was a great experience. I
Learning
got to race with one of
experience.
my teammates. It was just so much fun. And then yeah, summer going into my sophomore year is when I really just kind of locked in on the mileage and still had a lot of friends on the team, great senior guys, and all the guys in my class as well. And we just really just grinded that summer. Didn't go crazy on the mileage, just like 55s probably, but
Mhm,
still just enjoyed it a lot. And then slowly heading into that cross country season, I got, I think, 10th at my state meet, which really just
mm,
gave me some confidence. And then into that track season, I didn't really know how fast I was, but I ran really fast indoors at altitude, and I kind of surprised myself. And then the big turning point was probably Arcadia my sophomore year. I ran, I think, 4:20 in the mile, and then came back like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, and ran 9:07.
mm.
So I just shocked myself. Honestly, I didn't know I could do that, and that was just a big turning point. I was like, okay, maybe I could run in college, and maybe could compete with some bigger guys later on in my senior year.
I'm curious, what was you said you ran 55s or so sophomore year going into, cross. What was your weekly cap from your coach freshman year, if you remember?
Freshman year, I wanna say 40 or 45, something like that.
Respectable.
Nothing crazy. She just wanted. Knock on wood, I have yet to be injured my entire high school cross country career.
Definitely, I'll both knock on wood for you on that one.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it definitely just helped me just to stay, not to go crazy my freshman year, and just enjoy the sport for what it is, just chasing the PRs and just having a lot of fun with the team.
Yeah, I feel like that's so crucial. I've met a few people that have towed that line of overtraining and even have experienced it a few times, and the reset can be challenging. So
Yeah.
it's great to hear you had a clearly knowledgeable coach, upperclassman that could sort of walk your way in through. And so you go through those years, you get to junior and senior, and you're looking at 15s consistently, running under 15s now. Um, I really wanted to look at Bob Furman this year because, from my perspective, I'm sure you've been asked about it. That seemed like a pretty big crux of the year, even like internal motivating factor of I can just win. Talk to me about that race. And I mean, the last 400 was just wild.
Yeah, so the week before I'd gone to Woodbridge and raced the fastest guys in the nation on that course. That was always a dream for me to race there. It was a great experience. I got fourth, broke 14. I think that was the goal coming in, and
Yeah.
big race. Evan Noonan won, like, I think it was like 13:40 low or something like
Hmm.
that. And I saw that he was going to be above Furman. I was like, okay, it's still at a little bit of elevation, so he's going to come up. It's going to be a little harder of a course than Woodbridge, so maybe I could give him a run for his money. And yeah, just honestly, just held on for like the first 2.5 miles. There's a pretty brutal hill in that course. I think that's one of my
Yeah.
all-time favorite courses. Honestly, it was just great. I think it was a lot of fun with the different terrain and everything. And then, I mean, he took the lead with like probably around 800 to go. I kind of just wanted to keep him in my sights, and then there's like a hairpin turn, like a 180 that you have to do.
Hmm.
Then you come back down the straight, and um, I saw his like form breaking down a little, and I was like, okay, maybe I could get close to him, and maybe I could catch him. And then I was closing on him, and I was getting a lot closer, and I heard my teammates just yelling at me, my coaches, and then I just barely ended up catching him at the line, and that was just giant confidence booster, honestly, going into like my championship season. Just gave me all the motivation I needed.
It's great to be the hunter, but it's some would argue even more challenging to be the hunted.
Yeah.
That's where you found yourself at NXN. So two juxtaposed worlds. You saw Noonan sort of breaking down. You made the move. Talk to me about what it meant to hang on. And on a scale of 1 to 10, someone wanted me to ask you this. What was your worry level, pushing through at the very end? Your awareness, just how are you feeling down that final stretch? I think is what he wanted to get to.
Down the final stretch, I was definitely running scared because I turned around at the top. I took a look back at the top of the hill, and I saw both Cameron Todd and Nathan Neal. yeah, I mean, Nathan and I are great friends, and I know how fast both of those guys can just close. Cameron closed insanely fast his NXR meet, and I was like, I just thought that I had to close so hard just not to let those guys catch me because, I mean, I had a little bit of a gap, but it was definitely they could have definitely caught me down that straight. So
Mhm.
I looked back a couple of times. I was definitely running scared, but once I saw it, I had it in the bag. It was just flooded with emotions, honestly.
Yeah, and that the race is never over until it's over.
Yeah.
I always preach, do not stop until you're 100% sure you've crossed the line because there's one too many videos that I don't want to make about people who don't run through the line because I don't think it's intentional. Maybe one or two of them, but I'm super pumped to see you win. Um, I think this year's NXN, after the first 800, was one of the most wide open possible races for anyone. You had a handful of favorites, including yourself, but I mean, obviously, a lot of people were talking about Daniel Simmons, and he found himself outside of the top 50 within the first mile. What was going through your head running through these hills, or not the hills, but the lakes, as they say, with so many people still around? How did you navigate through and find yourself where you needed to be?
Yeah, my coach told me not to get out like crazy fast. He knew I liked being up in the front, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I got out pretty conservatively. I think came through like 15 through the 1K, which is honestly probably just a second off the lead. So nothing crazy. Still had them in my sights, and then that lake was honestly just a lot of fun. It was a great time. But I took the lead around probably 2.5, 2K, and then I did a little look around me, and I didn't see any of the big names, and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, maybe if I go now, I could put enough of a gap that I could maybe hold on to the win. That's just what I thought, and ended up going. Did just Oh, I know a couple guys went with me, and then I kind of broke away at like a K to go, and I was honestly surprised. I thought there would be so many guys with me at that point in the race, and then honestly just tried to hang on for the last K.
It sounds like a. It's so funny you say that it was fun because I know a lot of people that were saying it was challenging. A lot of people were saying, it slowed you down. And we did our best to look at what it really meant. And I think at the end of the day, it slowed people down about 20 seconds. So your estimated finish, I mean, there's also like the wind and the rain and the pace and everything. So, I mean, you're probably looking at a sub 15-minute clocking on the day. Does that sound more or less right around where you were running for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think I broke 15 twice, I believe. I once at Bob Furman and then once at my state meet. And I mean,
Hmm.
I ran probably in that area. It really wasn't, it didn't go out that fast, honestly. I thought it was going to go out a little bit faster, but I
Hmm.
mean, it's hard to tell what kind of performance I would have had on a good day.
Yeah. Cross country courses, there's no uniform anything. Uh, And if you ask anyone from Europe, they'll tell us that those aren't real cross country courses. But I feel like on the day, that one might have been a real one. You got mud, you got puddles, you got hundreds of people running. So it was fascinating. And I'm congrats again. Yeah, think that's amazing. Um, I noticed like it's always hard to peak at the right time, and I feel like people deserve praise, whether it's the athlete or the coaches or both. It seems like you nailed it this year. It seems like you really had your form coming together. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, honestly, I think I mean, it all goes to my coach. Over the past couple of years, I've had three coaches. So this year I went for a little more consistency. One of my parents' family friends, he's a coach, and I trusted him from the beginning. You know, we worked together, and it was great. I honestly the day before the race on that pre-race shakeout, I didn't feel amazing, but I just told myself to shake it off. It's not going to affect me. But yeah, just building throughout the season, just honestly, the confidence just just stacked higher and higher, and just doing the workouts, the long runs, all the races, just built the confidence so high that when I came into NXN, I wasn't afraid to take the lead. And I think it definitely peaked. I definitely peaked at like the perfect time, and it all goes
Mm.
to my coach. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like maybe there's like a 3 week or so block where there's like a true peak you can reach, and from state to NXN around that time, It's just so cool. It's a difficult thing, and it's something that I feel like a lot of people try their entire careers to master. So, I mean, seems like you could have that potential moving forward. And I don't want to ask you every detail about your training because
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, training's personal. But I
Mhm.
am curious about a few of your staples that you go to. What would you say are the things that, give you the confidence or help you focus in or even help you relax while getting in the mileage?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a crazy big mileage guy. I think the max I
Hmm.
hit this year, that like this season was like 62, and that's including probably like 4 or 5 miles of just me doing strides and like walking around the track while I do strides. So it's really not a crazy mileage that I do personally.
Hmm.
Um, but I think the big thing for me is getting in the mileage is just with my friends. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of running by myself. So whenever I can run with my friends or my teammates, it's always just a better experience. I mean, sometimes I can't, so I'll just go on a run by myself. But it's just running with my teammates really helps the miles get through. And then I really do like long runs. Honestly, that's a big thing for me. I think they're really fun. You know, just grind with your teammates, and then I don't know, we only get breakfast or something afterwards. So it's just something to look forward to on Saturdays that our team does. But overall, there's no like big workouts that I'm like at the end of the season, I have to do this workout or I'm not going to be great. It's really just what I just trust my coach's training and what he gives me.
That's awesome. The coach athlete relationship, I think, is the most important factor to success. And universally, everyone that I've talked to, from Noah Lyles, Andre DeGrasse, they've all said, like, trust the process with your coach. So, I mean, that's huge. You already got a huge one up on a lot of people they might not even have a high school coach. But I actually I want to applaud you for reposting our questionnaire that we were putting out less than like 30 minutes before we did this. I haven't even looked at any of the people's questions, so this is raw. This is super
Okay.
raw right now. We're just gonna jump in and see what everyone's asking because the people have spoken. Um, all right, all right, all right. Gabriel Weigert asks favorite course.
um, I mean, I honestly loved NXN. I didn't think it was as hard as people were saying it to like people were making it out to be. Honestly, I thought it was an extremely fun course, but I also loved Bob Furman. It was just that one big hill. Honestly, I kind of like it when there's hills in those races. You know, just it was just a lot of fun just to be up in that pack and competing with like in all my races. But I think Bob Furman and XN were just great races.
Do you think a lot of your I guess affinity for hills comes from your training location at altitude, or is it sort of inherently a part of your running?
Well, this season I actually I think I only did one hill workout this entire season.
All
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would head to parks where it's hilly and do workouts, but
Mhm.
a true hill workout I only did once. But altitude I mean, people who run at altitude and race at altitude I feel like need to be given more credit for how
Exactly.
hard
Yeah.
it is. Um, definitely like that. There's so many guys in Utah that are just slept on because they don't go and race at sea level and they're just racing at altitude and they're running crazy fast times that are at sea level at altitude, which would convert to sea level. I mean, just crazy times. But also, I live on the edge of Mount Olympus, so it is pretty hilly anywhere I run. So I mean, I'm definitely getting the hills in every day.
Yeah. I feel like, especially in high school, it seems there's like a Utah talent pool. I mean, you've got your Casey Klinger, who's won NXN 2 years in a row. Plenty of other people at BYU who've run fantastic. Connor Mance. Uh, I'm a huge altitude guy. I don't live at altitude, but I respect it, and especially if you try to race there, I feel like racing and running and training is different.
Yeah.
I totally just forgot about the people's questions. I got to stay
Yeah.
focused here. All right, I don't know if this is an inside joke, but I doubt it. But this is an important one. When in the race do you stop and no, that's the different question. Sorry. W- Is McQueen the GOAT? Which I mean, obviously the answer is yes, but I guess he wants to know if you have any thoughts on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. Um, oh, when in the race did you think I got this? From M4XW4N8.
Um, honestly, not until like the last 50. Uh, I took the lead, and I knew the guys were gonna go with me. I mean, you don't really let someone break away at NXN. But 4K in, I was running hard, and I didn't notice I had that much of a gap. I had like 2 seconds on the field, and then I took like one of the last turns that you take 3 times, and it got. I remember the second time I took that turn, I went on the inside, and it was just like my feet were just sinking into the mud. So I remembered that the third time I take that turn, I was gonna go far outside, and I was probably like 20 meters off like the where the people watching were, and then I saw my coach, my future coach, Coach Hazuri, assistant coach
Wake
at Wake.
Forest.
Yeah, he was yelling at me, "Let's go win a national title," and I was like, okay, I'm gonna work. I just wanted it so badly in that moment, and I knew I had probably 600 left, and I knew I could go through any amount of pain for 600 to win a national title. So I was just all the adrenaline was rushing there.
Did you expect to go in? I can't read. Did you go into it expecting as good of a result as you got?
Um, my coach told me I could win a national title. I mean, I wasn't. Of course, it's hard to something. It's hard to think about something that big.
Mm,
Um, I wanted a top five finish. I thought that was doable for me on the day. With the conditions, I think it definitely played to my advantage. And all the Southwest guys, I have to shout those guys out. We did crazy this year. I think we went 146 with the individual Southwest, and I mean, I'm so proud of those guys. And then we had a couple guys who didn't have the greatest day, but still placed super high at a national meet, and it was just great. But I mean, I think the conditions really played to my advantage, and all our Southwest guys, 'cause we're running in the cold and the snow. I mean, it doesn't really
mm.
affect us. It was kind of a when we walked out, we thought it was kind of a warm day, but so we had a great time. But overall, yeah, it was just great.
Here's a track question. Do you think Sha'Carri is going to go under 10.6? I had to ask that one. Um,
Um, oh,
I mean, it's,
what's your PR right now?
10.65 from Worlds.
I I think she gets close, but I don't think she goes under.
It's a tough barrier, man.
Yeah,
That's an educated guess. I respect it.
yeah.
Um, we'll go through a few more of these, and we'll go on to some lightning rounds. What's your favorite shoe? And this person didn't specify training, running. It could be your daily walkers, you know?
Um, I love the On Cloud Monster. I do all my mileage in that. It's a great shoe. I love it so
Mhm.
much. I used to run in the Pegasus a lot, and then I switched to the 40s, and had something flare up in my foot. So I went to the Cloud Monsters, and I've just loved them ever since. I mean, of course, race day spike, the Dragonfly workouts. I like the Vaporfly and the Streak Fly. Those are my
Hey, we
like
got
my two.
some right here. Part
Yeah,
of our
but
decorations.
yeah, I mean, just the Cloud Monster, honestly, just for my daily trainer is my go-to for sure.
That's actually the shoe that I wear, even though I'm not running times as fast as you. That's a great shoe. On's really made some amazing impact.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's look at one more. Let's go with what's your favorite toe? No, come on, no. This is the danger about doing these kind of things. You just get some weird questions.
Yeah.
Uh, what would you say are some of the biggest moments through your season that made this race possible? I guess other than Bob Furman, which we talked about, could be training, a race. It's a good question. From Jefferson.
Yeah, my season opener, I took fourth at the Timpanogos Invite.
Hmm.
Losing to three guys that were also at NXN, so just incredible competition. I think that and Woodbridge are just. I took fourth at Woodbridge as well, so I mean, I didn't in Utah. It's just so deep that you don't win. I'm used to losing races, and I think it's definitely helped me. Just get over it. It's like for me to just get over a loss. I mean, I'm racing against the best guys in the country. I mean, it's fine if I lose, and I think that's something big. Just to not. I didn't get upset at any point in the season. I just adjusted my training and how I felt. It was disappointing getting fourth, but I knew all of those guys. I mean, earned it. It was a great
Hmm.
race, and I think that was Timpanogos was a big one for me. Just starting off running so fast and then still getting beaten. Just getting used to losing is I think is a big part of running in Utah, and just I mean not getting down about it.
It's funny. I do think that there's always more to learn in loss than defeat, or loss than victory. Victory's easier and certainly fun, but the mentality of loss is so important and it's so crucial to because you're going to lose
Yeah.
unless you're like Kelvin Kiptum, but we don't have too many of those.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to ask a few more questions just about the process. There's a quote I've heard that I repeat all the time. It's what we do during our days is what we do in our lives. So I'm curious if you can break down what a daily what your day is typically like, with school and training and the times of things, and have you done doubles, where do you as much detail as you want to, like, it's the day in the life of the NXN champion, let's just put it that way.
Yeah. This entire season, I did not do a single double, so that was that was big for me.
Recovery.
Yeah. So my school's pretty early. Probably wake up around 6:30. School's at 7:30. Academics is big for me. I love all the classes I take. I do try to challenge myself in school, so that's big. Lunch this year is kind of crazy early. I think I eat lunch at like 10:30 or something, which is kind of outrageous.
Wow.
Um,
I
I
may
get
have
out of
slept in
school.
past that a few times.
Yeah. I get out of school. I think it's 2:10. Practice starts at 2:30. Everyone just meets up either on the track, or if it's cold outside, we meet up indoors. Workout days were normally I think Monday, Thursday,
Hmm.
and then once it got like 2 or 3 weeks out from NXN, we did 3 days in between every workout just to give myself a little bit more recovery. Um, but probably don't I don't know, don't get home till like 5 on workout days. Normal days after workouts, I normally have literally just a 30-minute run, so it's really chill. I do strides. I do 8 to 10 strides every single day. Every other day it's 150s, so definitely helped like work on my speed this year with my
Hmm.
goals coming up in the outdoor track season. So after that, definitely. I mean, I do like rolling out a lot. That's something
Hmm.
big for me. Early in the season, we did weights. I think we did them on workout days, Monday, Thursday, just like 30 minutes. We have a couple of our guys. We go to a gym down the street, and we have a personal trainer. He's a really nice guy. Honestly, just someone you can just talk to and just have fun while you're working out. He's a great guy. And then big rolling out, big recovery. My mom is a massage therapist, so maybe once every week,
Ooh,
once every two
nice.
weeks, I do get a massage. So it before big meets and stuff like that. And then I'm big on sleep. I'm normally in bed 8:30 to 9:30. Try to get nine
Lovely.
hours. Yeah, try to get 9 hours every day. It's hard to do when you have to wake up so early, but
Hmm.
it's something big I focus on, even on the weekends. If I go to bed at 10, I'll shoot to wake up around 8. I mean, I do wake up early on the weekends. I go fishing a lot, so I'm
Nice.
yeah. If it's a good day, I'll wake up at like 7 a.m. on the weekends to go fishing and travel. So sleep is definitely one of the biggest things for me, and then also just rolling out. I
Hmm.
just the rolling out and recovering is really big.
Man, you got a great setup. I don't think a lot of people would have a family member. Shout out to mom, massage
Yeah,
therapist. I'll make sure that gets in there. She'll be happy to be the shout out from there.
yeah.
Um, so you mentioned next year's track season. So we're gonna move past dominance, excellence, cross country. Senior year track. Obviously you're committed to Wake Forest. Um,
Mhm.
well, what if you have goals? You know, what are your expectations?
Yeah. Coming in, I mean, early, after last track season, I had goals of sub 840. I think could go a little faster depending on the day. I mean, just I think that the place to do it is obviously Arcadia, with just the amount of
Yeah.
talent that goes
Hmm.
there. It's the amount of hype behind the meet. that's the place to do it. I bet, and then it's hard to do out when I run in Utah just because of the elevation. But another big goal is of course sub 4. I think I have a 401 high altitude conversion, and I think it's definitely doable, but it'll just come down to how many times I do get to race the mile at sea level
Yeah.
because it would be impossible to do it at altitude. And then I mean, if you get the right group of guys, I think this year there could be a couple guys that go sub 4, and I think in the right race it could happen. I'm just that those are some two of my big goals.
Yeah, those are real. And I think the momentum on the high school side, there's been so many sub 4 milers just
Yeah,
dropping the last 3, 4 years. And I mean, the history books like quadrupled since, 2019 or something. It's incredible. So good luck with that. I mean, you're right. Getting the opportunity to run a mile isn't super common, but I think that's definitely something to shoot for. So good luck
mhm.
with that. Um, and before we end the interview, um, I know you're a track fan, and it's great to see. Talk to me about the time when you got to meet Bernard Lagat, because I have been fortunate enough to meet him, and he might be the nicest person in the history of
So
mankind.
nice.
It's so
Yes,
nice. What was that like?
he's such a nice guy. Yeah, so that was actually at a tennis tournament. His son actually plays tennis.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, he lives in Tucson. I used to live in Phoenix, so he traveled to Phoenix for a tennis tournament with his son, and I ended up. My parents were like, "Oh, that's Bernard Lagat." Like I saw the last name in the tournament, and they were like, I would have never thought that's him, but
Yeah.
that's his son.
Wow.
So I mean, we got a picture. I didn't really know him too well, but then I actually ended up going on an last year after NXR. I ended up going on an unofficial visit to U of A, and I got
Mhm.
to meet him again because he's the head coach there. And he's just, I mean, just an amazing guy. He's such a nice guy and just so genuine.
Yeah. And a 326 1500 is not too shabby either. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Uh, well, fantastic. I'm super excited for you. It's an amazing way to end XC. Um, yeah, I can't wait to see what you do in track season. Thank you for stopping by and talking.